March 4th turned out to be a different kind of day in the hangar. No big milestones, no dramatic moment where the shop goes quiet and everyone nods knowingly. Nothing headline-worthy or particularly cinematic. Just another day in the long, patient process of turning a collection of parts into an airplane. Sure, when we walked in, we noticed the avionics had mostly found their way into their final resting place on the panel, which is always nice to see. But our assignment for the day was something a little less flashy. We were there to install the BRS system, the Ballistic Recovery System. In simple terms, the parachute for the entire airplane that has its own ejector seat to get it out of the way and away from the plane to do its job. The location of this little marvel? Right behind the cargo area of our high wing, conveniently out of the way of anything we put behind the rear seats. Now, when I mentioned this to a friend of mine, he looked at me with genuine curiosity and asked, "Wait, the airplane comes with a parachute? What about your other 3 passengers? Why do you only get one?" I had to clarify that this wasn't some kind of a last-minute personal escape plan where I wished everybody good luck and with heartfelt sincerity on my face informed them that they will be remembered, then break eye contact and eject myself from the aircraft in some heroic act of self-preservation. No, this parachute is designed to bring the entire airplane back to Earth in one piece, pilot, passengers, and dignity preserved. My friend looked a little sheepish after that explanation, but also noticeably relieved that I wasn't proverbially sending all my passengers down with a ship. Matt gathered us around and laid out the plan for the day. And like most things in aviation, what sounded simple at first turned out to be anything but. That rocket and parachute system, the one designed to bring the whole airplane back to Earth in one piece, comes with a surprising number of parts, pieces, and very specific steps. The parachute and rocket live in a removable container tucked just behind the baggage area. It's made of fiberglass, which means it starts life as a perfectly smooth, hole-free shell. Same goes for the fuselage it sits in. And to keep everything looking clean inside the cabin, there's a fitted cover that hides it all from view. So the first order of business was straightforward, in theory. Put the container into position and start drilling. Holes in the container, holes in the fuselage, and then more holes on the cover so everything lines up the way it should. Measure, mark it, drill it, and then measure it again just to make sure that last hole didn't make the next one a problem. Once that was done, we moved on to the rocket itself, carefully pulling it out of its cardboard box and figuring out how it all interfaces with the parachute container. It didn't take long to realize this wasn't a bolt it on and call it a day kind of a job. There were steps, lots of them, the kind that reward patience and punish your assumptions. At one point, Tyler walked us over to take a look at our propeller, which had arrived a few days earlier. A 4-bladed Duke Tiger, every bit as sharp and purposeful as you'd expect. When we ordered it, we had the option to choose the tip color. Nannette and I had our hearts set on purple. Turns out, purple wasn't on the menu. Plenty of other colors, just not that one. I briefly considered drafting a strongly worded letter to Duke expressing my disappointment. But then we saw another option, the American flag. A bold choice, maybe even a little flashy. But the more we looked at it, the more it felt right. So, we went with it. Sometimes the second choice ends up being the better story. Then Tyler showed us another aircraft, a Cessna 182 that had been outfitted with a BRS system. It's an available upgrade for certified aircraft, but like anything else in aviation, it comes with trade-offs. In this case, it added weight and the loss of valuable baggage space. Standing there, looking at it, it reinforced something that we had already suspected. We made the right call with the high wing, with our Sling High Wing. Our parachute system tucks neatly behind the baggage area, out of sight and out of the way, doing its job without taking anything away. After lunch, we got a bit of a surprise. Doug Goodrich sat us down in front of our build and turned the camera on us for an interview for his YouTube channel. As the first husband and wife team to go through the process, he was curious about our perspective and why we chose this path, why we chose this team. And the truth is, that was the easy part. We had nothing but good things to say. The process, the people, the patience it all requires, it's been exactly what we'd hoped for. if someone's thinking about building an airplane, Sling or otherwise, it's hard not to point them in his direction. As Nannette and I explained to Doug, I've always wanted an airplane, but as it turns out, reality has its way of keeping your priorities in check. Sometimes the things you want to do have to wait for the things you need to do. And for a long time, that meant putting the dream on hold and focusing on raising our 3 boys the right way, making sure they had every opportunity, even if it meant setting a few of my own aside. Nannette reassured me that someday we will reach that goal. But Nannette has itchy feet, so I'm sure part of her desire was to have a personal pilot, a role I was happy to fulfill. Looking back on our decision, it was an easy trade. Today, the 3 boys are doing just fine. The oldest is in the U.S. Navy, occasionally flying faster than the speed of sound, which what I can only assume is with his hair on fire. The second became a mechanical engineer working on nuclear steam valves, the same one who helped us put the empennage on the fuselage. And the youngest? He followed a similar path, working as a machinist at the same company, shaping metal into something useful. With them on their own paths, doing well and finding their way, Nannette and I found ourselves at a different stage of life. One where it was finally okay to revisit that old dream. So we started looking for airplanes. And then COVID happened. Prices just didn't go up, they doubled. The dream didn't disappear, but got a lot harder to justify when every would-be pilot became a pilot and started purchasing up all the inventory. And that's when we met Doug Goodrich. And from that point on, we haven't really looked back.